Deep in the icy blue waters of the Arctic, a young narwhal named Ned swam through the waves, his long spiraled tusk glistening in the sunlight. But Ned wasn't just any narwhal. He had a special talent. He loved to learn. While other narwhals played tag in the ocean currents, Ned spent time asking questions, reading from the great ocean book, and listening to the wise old creatures of the sea. He believed that knowledge was just as powerful as speed, strength, or size. One morning, Ned was gliding past a floating iceberg when he heard a frustrated sigh. It was his friend, Penny the puffin, perched on the ice with a large clamshell in her beak. "What's wrong, Penny?" Ned asked, floating beside her. Penny huffed. "I found this delicious clam, but I can't open it, no matter how hard I peck." Ned tapped his tusk thoughtfully. I read about this in the great ocean book. Some animals drop shells on rocks to break them open." Penny's eyes widened. "That's a great idea. I'll try it." She soared into the sky, her black and white wings flapping against the crisp air. Then, with a swift motion, she dropped the shell onto a large rock below. Crack! The shell snapped open, revealing the tasty meal inside. "Wow, Ned, learning really helped," Penny chirped happily, pecking at her well-earned snack. Ned grinned. "See? Knowing new things can make life easier." Feeling proud, Ned continued his swim toward the coral reef, where he spotted his friend Sammy the seal, staring at something in the distance. "What's wrong, Sammy?" Ned asked, bobbing beside him. Sammy pointed with his flipper at a group of glowing jellyfish, their soft, pulsating lights creating a magical underwater dance. "I've never seen those before," Sammy whispered. "What are they?" Ned smiled. "Those are glow jellies. I learned about them from an old whale. They light up in the dark to scare away predators and stay safe." Sammy's jaw dropped. "That's amazing. You always know so much, Ned." Ned chuckled. "That's because I love to learn. Every day I try to discover something new." Sammy nodded. "I think I want to learn more too. Maybe you can teach me?" Ned's heart swelled with happiness. "Of course. Learning is even more fun when you share it with friends." That evening, as the Arctic sky turned pink and gold, Ned's mother swam beside him, her voice warm and full of pride. "Ned, today you helped Penny and Sammy just by sharing what you knew. Learning has made you wise and kind." Ned beamed. "I love learning, and I love sharing what I know." His mother nodded. "That's because knowledge is powerful. It helps you, and it helps others too. The more you learn, the more you can change the world." Ned twirled happily in the water, his tusk slicing through the shimmering waves. From that day on, Ned the Narwhal never stopped learning. He asked questions, read from the great ocean book, and listened to the stories of the sea. And most importantly, he always shared what he learned with his friends. Because deep in the Arctic waters, Ned proved that learning is a treasure that never runs out. The end. Deep in the chilly Arctic waters, Ned the Narwhal was swimming in happy circles. Today was a special day. His friends had planned a big ocean quiz, and Ned was excited to learn something new. Ned loved asking questions, reading from the Great Ocean Book, and discovering fun facts about the world around him. But today, he wasn't just learning. He was also helping his friends see how fun learning could be. On a large, smooth iceberg, Sammy the Seal, Penny the Puffin, and Felicity the Fox had gathered, ready for the quiz. Felicity flicked her fluffy tail. "All right, everyone, here's the first question. What is the fastest creature in the ocean?" Sammy scratched his head with his flipper. A whale?" Penny pecked at the ice. "Maybe a dolphin?" Ned smiled. He had read about this just last week. "It's actually the sailfish. It can swim as fast as a speeding boat." Felicity nodded. "That's right, Ned. Learning sure does help." Sammy's eyes widened. "I want to remember that for next time." Ned grinned. "That's the best part about learning. Once you know something, you can always use it later." Penny the Puffin took a turn next. "Here's a tricky one. Why do jellyfish glow in the dark?" Sammy wiggled his flippers. "Oh, I remember this because Ned told me. They glow to scare away predators and stay safe." Ned beamed. "That's right, Sammy. You learned something new and remembered it." Sammy smiled proudly. "Learning makes me feel smart." Penny nodded. "It sure does, and learning together makes it even more fun." For the last question, Sammy asked, "Why is learning important?" Everyone thought for a moment. Then Ned said, "Because the more we learn, the more we understand the world. It helps us solve problems, stay safe, and help others too." Felicity twitched her ears. "That's the best answer ever, Ned. You win the big ocean quiz." But Ned shook his head and smiled. "We all win because we all learned something new today." Sammy, Penny, and Felicity cheered. They had so much fun learning together. As the sun set over the icy Arctic, Ned twirled through the water, feeling happy. He knew that every day was a chance to learn something new, and he couldn't wait to discover more. The end. One chilly morning in the Arctic, Ned the Narwhal was swimming through the icy waters when he noticed something strange. A group of small white birds floated on the water's surface. Every few seconds, one of them would dive down and disappear beneath the waves. Ned had seen birds flying in the sky before, but he had never seen them dive underwater like this. "What are they doing?" Ned wondered aloud. Just then, Sammy the Seal came splashing by. "Hey, Ned, you look puzzled. What's up?" Ned pointed his flipper toward the birds. "Look at those little birds diving. Why do they do that?" Sammy tilted his head. I don't know. Maybe they're playing a game?" Ned giggled. "Maybe, but I want to find out for sure. How can we learn the answer?" The two friends swam over to Penny the Puffin, who was perched on an iceberg, drying her wings in the sun. "Penny," Ned called, "do you know why those birds keep diving into the water?" Penny fluffed up her feathers and smiled. "Oh, Those are Arctic terns. They dive down to catch little fish for food. Ned's eyes widened. Wow, I had no idea. How do you know all this? Penny puffed out her chest proudly. I love learning. When I have a question, I ask others, read books, or watch the world around me. That's how I learned about the Arctic terns. Ned grinned. That's smart, but I want to make extra sure you're right. How can I do that? Penny pointed her wing toward the water. Just watch closely, Ned. The best way to learn is by observing things for yourself. Ned and Sammy floated very still, their eyes fixed on the terns. One of the birds flapped its wings and soared into the sky. It hovered for just a moment and swooped down, slicing into the water like a tiny arrow. A second later, it popped back up, with a tiny fish wiggling in its beak. Whoa, Ned gasped. Penny was right. They dive into the water to catch fish. Sammy clapped his flippers. That was awesome, and we figured it out by asking, watching, and learning. Ned beamed. He had started the day with a big question, and now he had an amazing answer, all because he had kept learning and searching. As he swam home, he thought about all the other things he still wanted to know. He couldn't wait for his next big question. The end.